Hello, my name is Dina Kalibal. I am here on behalf of DDT Enterprises to start us off on our annual report presentation today. Moving into slide 2, I'd like to break down the team for you. As I said, my name is Dinika. I was the President and VP of Accounting and Finance for the company. I worked alongside Dalen Barr, who is the VP of Manufacturing and Business Analytics, as well as Taylor Crescenzi, who was our VP of Marketing and Sales Management. Hello, this is Dina Kalibal. We are now on slide number 7, which is the critical decisions and their financial outcomes of the company. So to start us off, I would like to address how we approached our sales offices and the sales force increase. We had the big competitor of Prestige Computers, so we decided to kind of mimic their behavior because we saw how successful they were becoming. So we decided to open 9 more sales offices, and we spent about $1.4 million on that. And we also decided to significantly increase our Salesforce team, where we spent about $2.8 million in quarter 7. As for research and development, we spent nearly $4.5 million, but unfortunately we didn't make enough to cover that, so we ran out of money, which overall hurt our company's standings. For the emergency loan, we got that because we simply ran out of money and we're just playing catch up the rest of the quarters. As for the fixed capacity, we were losing customers because we weren't meeting their right demands, and once we realized that mistake, we spent more in our fixed capacity, but unfortunately sales were going quicker and quicker and the investment just wasn't there. To break it down on what we spent on fixed capacity upgrades, for quarter 5 we spent about $2.2 million, and then in quarter 6 we kind of came back down and spent $1.1 million, and then we just picked it back up again in quarter 7 to kind of play that game of catch up where we spent about $2.2 million. For quarter 5 we had about 50 units, capped it at 50 in quarter 6, and we bumped it up to 100 in quarter 7. Moving into slide number 8, I will be talking to you also about the best of quarters 5 through quarter 8. In the top right hand corner of slide number 8, you can see the cost cutter market share, which is broken down into the different companies and the percentages of this particular segment. For this one, we were able to come out on top in the market with 45% share of that segment, which is great because we were above our biggest competitor, Prestige Computer, just by 1%, but we were still above them. And as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, we come out even market share with Prestige Computers at about 37% for the workhorse segment. They are our biggest competition, and they were our main focus during the simulation. In slide number 9, we're still on the best of quarter 5 through quarter 8. In the top right hand corner, you can see the overall market share of all the different companies in this simulation, and we were able to come out with 24% of overall market share, just coming under Prestige Computers again because they are our biggest competitor. But overall, we were second in the market share, which was great. We were late to enter into the traveler segment with one of our products, which I believe was a laptop product. We were trying to mimic one of Prestige Computers to meet that traveler segment and kind of push our way into a different segment that we weren't really familiar with because they weren't one of our biggest segments like the workhorse or the cost cutter. So we were kind of late to come into that game, but we still came out on top of some of the other companies, sitting at about 21%, which was great. And we were also trying to, at the time, enter into the innovator segment, which is probably why it affected our traveler segment, because we were switching between 2 different segments and just not meeting their certain demands. But we still earned some decent market share in their area, so that helped us rank second overall in the market, which is great. And we still had our eye on Prestige Computer as our biggest competitor. And in slide number 10, I will conclude my portion of the best of Q5 through Q8, talking a little bit more about the Simply Travel brand and their gross margin, as well as our revenues as a company, get a little more into the 5 brands that we offer and where our best sales were. So to start with the Simply Travel brand, that is the brand that I mentioned earlier with our Traveler segment, which was the laptop computer we tried putting out. For the gross margin, it was a little over 5.7 million, but overall the company reached a significant milestone with our revenue. We were able to generate about 29 million in revenue, which was great. Still put us in second place under Prestige, but that was a significant milestone for the company closer to the end to kind of give us a little push to the end. To talk a little bit more about our brands, there was 5 brands, starting with the Simply Travel, which earned about 9.2 million in revenue, the Horse 2.0 earning about 7.9 million, the DDT Home Essential computer, which earned about 6.1 million, the Horse 3.0, which earned about 3.4 million, and lastly, the DDT Home Light computer, which earned roughly $2.8 million. So that all added up to that 29 million in revenue, which was, again, a significant milestone for our company and really helped us come out closer to the top, which is great.
Slide 11 is a continuation of the best of quarter 5 through quarter 8. DDT was second in overall demand compared to our competitors, and we were the best low-cost leader. Being a low-cost leader was very important for us because we were really focused on keeping our prices low while keeping the quality high. We also had the highest rated ads in our targeted segments, such as Cost Cutter with 71 and Workhorse with 81. We were also the second largest sales force compared to our competitors with 176 employees. If DDT were to continue into quarter 9 and beyond, a few things we would definitely do differently and keep the same. Something that we do differently was increase sales force. We didn't realize during the simulation that how important the sales force really is and how much turnaround you get from hiring a salesperson. We would also continue increasing our fixed capacity. This led us to a lot of issues and we didn't have the right capacity to keep things running smoothly. And we would continue investing in research and development to better our products. Also, like we did in the previous quarters, we want to stay ahead of our competition. That's really like a driving force for success when we see what our competitors are doing right and wrong and can learn from them and copy them but kind of turn it into our own way. And we want to move into more segments. We were really focused on Cost Cutter and Workhorse, but I think that we could move into more segments and be successful in those segments. Throughout the simulation, DDT learned important lessons on how to run a successful business. Our success did not come easy. There was a lot of trial and error with each quarter. Each quarter we tried to constantly change our strategy and push ourselves to do better than the previous quarter. As time went on in the simulation throughout the quarters, we kind of had a better idea of what we were doing. So each time submitting, we had more confidence with our decisions, but that didn't mean it was easy. We ran into a few issues with money. We overspent on research and development in quarter 5 and ended up having to take an emergency loan. This loan was quickly paid off, but still, if we managed our money better and spent money that we had and not what we didn't have, we would have been more successful.